All right, boys, we are live.
Oh, lights, camera, action. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the, first iteration episode. I don't know what you call podcasts, but welcome to the first one. I'm Brennan. I'm here with Logan,
Hello.
Nick,
Oh,
and Caleb.
Hello.
So, fellas, how you guys doing today?
Oh, that's a good way to start, actually.
feeling like
that gonna
complimenting
just
your
stay in-
intro.
Yeah, yeah,
because
stay
that's
in the video.
Wow, what a start.
God damn.
Oh, God. All right, you know,
Don't worry,
it's
guys. We've
perfect.
totally done this before. Just like whenever you sign into Google and it's like, "Is that you?" and you're like, "Yeah, dude, totally." Just trust me, bro.
Oh, yeah. This is perfect that we don't have visuals with this, because it means I can adjust the audio. And nobody
Yeah,
knows that I'm
perfect.
adjusting the audio.
All right, so like I said, how y'all doing today? I heard Nick's, but Caleb was like, "That's a great way to start it," and
That
derailed
is a
us.
really good way to start it.
Yeah.
I'm
So
doing
that, like,
good.
mine was not an exact replica of Caleb's, just slightly framed differently.
So I'm doing good because we've dropped our first two episodes of our Pokemon Nuzlocke series. First of many videos to come, hopefully.
And this is gonna be up there.
Pretty soon.
Probably today. Yeah, pretty soon. And
Pretty
then
soon.
the third episode is going up right now, right? You're still uploading it?
Yeah, it's still uploading. It'll probably be sent while we're doing this.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Anyway, so yeah, we got some pretty good hype going here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Let's give a little. Well, I guess we have just gone over everyone. I suppose.
Yeah.
Logan, we haven't gone over you. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing better than the previous days, but I'm good. I'm good.
All right, that's good. That's good.
That's all we can ask for.
Now, you're probably
Yeah.
wondering why I brought you all here today.
Have you just spun around in your black leather chair?
Yeah, of course.
Please tell me you have. Oh, fuck yeah.
Of course, I've spun around on my couch that has a
Oh,
laser Susan
yeah.
attached to it.
On that gamel couch.
Oh, yeah.
The
Honestly,
gamer couch in your
not
gamer
gonna lie.
corner.
Maybe I should just... Okay, question. Should the picture for the podcast be my setup?
Yeah, you can put the thumbnail for it.
No,
And
I
just
mean,
switch
just
your
that's the
setup.
background image the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
It's just my setup.
If we can't think of anything better, then yes, absolutely.
Like,
I
it's
think
either...
I think it's funny.
It's either that or it's the channel's, like, logo.
We could do I could send you the picture for it, because then that way it's like an actual picture and not just the circle. Anyway,
Yeah. So, boys,
fellas, lads.
if anyone doesn't have any more pressing topics, like if anyone doesn't want to jump in, I have something to talk about. I have something.
Oh, we can.
A pressing topic, and it's whatever the pressing topic you have is, so you should say it.
Okay, good,
pressing
because
topic
this
is
is
getting
okay.
Nick
We've
to
kind of
explain
talked
Riverdale.
about this before, but I want this to be known to the interwebs. All right. I want to talk about to you three. I think I know mostly Brennan's opinion on this, but I want to talk about games, actually just virtual media in general, having stuff like paid DLC that gets phased out and is unaccessible. So my example for this, I think the best one that comes to mind, because this is what always comes to mind for me,
Probably
is
the best one.
Destiny 2. Now, Destiny 2 was in a rough state when it first started. None of us are going to deny that. I love Destiny. I love Destiny 1. It's such a good game. But Destiny 2 actually pushed me away from the series. I didn't start playing the series again until Beyond Light dropped, which was like a year or two ago? Let me look that up.
A year or two ago, yeah, probably.
Actually,
no, it was about a year or two ago.
Yeah, let me just...
Yeah, even I didn't grab Destiny 2 initially because I'd been playing Destiny 1 since the day it dropped. Logan and I went to GameStop and bought it.
Yeah.
November 10th,
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah,
so 2 years ago.
So almost 2 years ago, yeah. No,
Um,
Logan and I grabbed D1 like the day it dropped at GameStop, and we went home to play
Oh
it.
hell.
And then I immediately had an ear surgery and got to spend a week off school only playing Destiny.
Oh, that's good. But,
Yeah, I only experienced it when it was at Logan's house, and I was not impressed.
the thing
This is the
is,
first
Yeah.
DLCs.
Yeah, so the first DLCs were pretty bad. But for example, there was, and this is going to be relevant to what I'm going to leading up to. There was some actually good weapons or exotics, whatever you want to call in them. And the problem is, so Destiny got to the point where they were like, we need to phase stuff out. Or not necessarily phase stuff out. We need to add new content because nobody likes the way the current game state is. So they added Beyond Light, and with Beyond Light, they phased out a couple of the planets.
Couple of planets and 3 stories.
Here's where the problem is. There is no guarantee, like we've heard rumors, but there's no guarantee that those planets are ever coming back. And let's say, like me, you had bought like a collector's edition or whatever. Let's say you bought all of the expansions and then you didn't like them, didn't play them, and now, Destiny's good again and you can come back to it. You can't access that stuff anymore. You can't access that content. So any content, any like guns or whatever that are now locked behind that content are inaccessible. Now, some of them you could still get because they were smart enough with this, but there's some that you just couldn't get anymore that were just inaccessible. And this is something that has like bothered me, which is from a legal standpoint, because I know it's a virtual medium, but the problem here is that is content you have paid for that, for all intents and purposes, was accepted to stay, and it is no longer accessible. You didn't buy this with a warranty that said, oh yeah, in 2 years it's going to be gone. You bought this to have it, and now it's gone. This is the equivalent of just going to your cupboard, opening the door, and all of the glass is just disappearing, right? Because you don't get them anymore. And you weren't made aware of this when you bought it, right? So what I want to talk about here is like, when is it okay for a company to box content? Is it okay for a company to box priced priced content ever? Or is it okay in specific situations? And also, is it okay for a company to make content that was paid for free and not have some sort of reimburse for those who paid for it in the first place? Because when Destiny had Beyond Light, it also had gone free to play, either before or after. I can't remember. But
Shadowkeep, the one right before.
Shadowkeep. Okay.
Yeah.
But that means that anyone who bought the base game now got screwed, because sure, there was content and stuff they missed out on from the beginning, and maybe that justifies it, but at the same time, I don't know if that does, right? What are your thoughts on this, guys?
So, I think personally, it's bad practice to be doing it in general. Not speaking to the legality of it, because who the fuck knows at that point? I'm not here to read 300 pages of dense legalese, but
Nick,
Not yet, gonna.
not yet anyway. Until I get paid to start doing it. It's bad practice from a business standpoint to be doing that, because the amount of people that they lost from that probably definitely hurt, because a lot of people probably are now, it doesn't hurt a company like Bungie, but it leaves a bad taste in my mouth to not have the option. It's like with Pokemon, speaking to options, sorry, in Pokemon, they've given you less options, like you can't turn the experience share off. And everyone was upset that they didn't have the option. Like, if you gave me the thing like, hey, or if they even if they did like a player poll of, hey, we need to make more room, do you guys want any of this vaulted?
Yeah.
Like, maybe some of the strikes get vaulted. Maybe, like, everything except for the access to the planet is vaulted.
Yeah.
But I think it should have been up to us as the consumer rather than up to the business people cutting it down.
Or at least that we have some sort of a say in it.
Exactly. If we're given, like, customer first for that sense.
Yeah.
The customer isn't always right, but customer first.
Yeah, and also this is, like I said, this is paid content.
Exactly. It was paid for, which is, I believe, to be a larger problem. But
Nick, you've been
I
quiet on
mean,
this.
video game companies and making bad decisions. I mean, name a more iconic duo, right?
true,
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
you just can't do it.
exactly. Like, I am not going to sit here and pretend that this decision makes any sense at all. And I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that it's not exactly what I would expect. Throw a throw a dart at a pinboard and see what company it lands on. They'd do it, I'm sure. If it makes them an extra couple cents, of course they'd do it.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that the idea of, like, providing additional content to your video game that is paywalled, and then you can just later say actually it doesn't exist anymore. And not only does it like straight up doesn't exist, because there are some games where content will be hidden away to secluded parts of the game that are still accessible, but only very specifically. But you still have access to those things if you're really desperate to use exactly those things. But this is a little different than that, and
Yeah,
I
this is
cannot
completely
say
movable.
that I enjoy the idea of just buying something and then it disappearing. Um, yeah, but again, it's a video game company. You can do whatever you want as a video game company. Nintendo can release a half-finished game and say this is a full game and charge you full price for it, and just do that.
Kind of did with Sword and Shield. I'll be
Not
honest.
kind of. They've been
No,
doing it.
they have been doing it.
Yeah, no, they have been.
Yeah.
I mainly said Sword and Shield because Sword and Shield came out with 2 DLCs, and then it felt like a full game.
Yeah.
Just kind
Which
of how
was
video game companies like to do stuff, and even like Blizzard. Oh boy, have you guys heard about the Diablo Immortal nonsense? How it's like
Oh, God.
unimpossible to play game.
Don't even.
Just dump
Man,
dump
start
all
that
of
with
it.
it,
Ap-
man.
apparently,
this is how you get Logan into this conversation.
so
Fuck.
Damn
apparently,
it.
but before you talk, Logan, apparently what I have heard is that even like one of the people who was really complaining about that at the whole conference has been playing it and is like, it's still playable. It's still an okay game until you get to the late game, in which it's just insane. And he had to spend something like $11,000 just to get one of the items
Yeah,
that he was
and then he did
like,
it
trying to
to
grind for, or something
That's really
stupid like
funny.
that.
because he did it to show Activision what's what, and everyone was like, "You just gave them $11,000.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
lose shit.
They win.
Well,
won.
No,
Yeah.
not
Like, they won that
necessarily, because if
engagement.
that really hurts their reputation, because let's be realistic. If that hurts their reputation to the point in which enough players leave the game that would have made them more than that 11,000, then that's problematic for them.
Oh yeah, that's problematic. But that has yet the repercussions of his choice have yet to be seen.
Yeah, but that's the
So
thing.
as-
We
so
can't
as of
really.
right now-
We will never know if they would be seen or not, because we'll never know the timeline where he didn't do that, right?
Exactly.
The main
I-
thing he was trying to show is that it was made a free to play game, but they basically made it so you had to pay to win.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Even
let's
though-
talk about that. Microtransactions.
Yeah.
Really
but
well, this
even
conversation
yeah.
will always go to, right? Because that is effectively still what Bungie is doing. I mean, here's the thing: I'm unstained by the heresy of Destiny, which is to say, I don't play it. But
Coward.
yeah, sure, call me a coward. I just don't like FPS. Anyway, point being, you gatekeep content, like new content, with microtransactions. That's just like the thing you do nowadays, and it's bad.
Yeah,
it's
really
not
bad.
It's
fun
horrendous.
to do that, especially when it's every single video game.
Yeah, and especially when it's like you're still paying full price for, like, I have no problem with cosmetics or stuff. Like, people complain about this all the time,
Oh, yeah.
especially when cosmetics are like really expensive. Like, let's take a look at Halo Infinite. The cosmetics in that game are like actually ridiculous to grind for, or you're paying like $5 for a helmet color change. It's kind of dumb, but the game is free to play, and I have no problem with that because it's not like the Star Wars Battlefront issue where people you could just pay more and just be better, to just
be
have
better
at the game,
characters or have
yeah. So I don't have a problem with cosmetics, and I don't have a problem with microtransactions in a vacuum. And what I mean by this is I don't have a problem with the concept of microtransactions. I have a problem with their implementation. If it's like, hey, you can get to this, like, hey, you paid full price for a game, and the game is playable, and you get to this section, you're gonna have to grind for a bit. You're gonna have to spend 6 or 7 hours grinding to get to the next area. Obviously, there's gonna be people who are just so fucking good, they're gonna get there no matter what. But you can do that, or you can pay money to get better gear. That is malicious and predatory, but it's not
absolutely
terrible. It's not like you're spending 7 hours to get an equipment piece, or like to get a crafting piece for the boots of the better gear. You know what I mean? Where it gets to like atrocious, where it's like you're gonna have to spend 100 hours just to get to the next area. Once you're done the next area, you're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind games that have a grind when the grind is good. And if you want to let players pay to skip the grind, I don't think that's a problem. I think that's a little shitty, because if the game is meant to have a grind, it should be enforced more. But, just by the way you design it, it should just be that people enjoy playing this game during its grind.
Exactly.
But I don't think it's a terrible problem when a game has that sort of system. Like Shadows of War is a really good example of that, where it's a grindy game. It's a very grindy game in the late game. Or you can just pay money to get better items and like get orcs from loot boxes. We're not going to talk about that because that's really dumb. But
no, loot boxes are just the worst.
They are. But the point is, you can totally play the game without them in there. I don't think the addition of something that is not necessarily good, but is completely a choice and completely avoidable if you don't touch it, and is a bad thing to a game. I don't think it makes it more accessible by any means. I think it just...
But, important caveat, I'm not 100% sure I agree with you, but even if I agree with you or don't agree with you, 100% facts, the more games that do loot boxes and these kind of microtransactions, regardless of how you feel about them, the more other game companies are like, we can do this, and that only makes the problem worse.
Yeah, because the thing
is, it leads into a deeper and worse problem every time,
because
and it's not acceptable.
If it gets implemented well in a game, and that game is received well, it's still there, which is going to lead to more poor implementation of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would rather it not be there
at all.
I
people
totally
try to copy the idea without understanding what made it work.
Yeah, I believe it shouldn't be there. I totally am of that camp. But I also do understand that a business is there to make money. So if this is an easy way to get better content out, then that's fine. But it shouldn't come at the price of the content itself.
Exactly. If it made for the best version of the content possible, perfect. If it's hurting the content to be doing that, then it's bad for everybody.
Yeah,
I
Logan's
cannot
just seething
find a single example
over Diablo Immortal this whole time.
Yeah, Logan's gritting his teeth and he's like rolling on the ground right now.
Hey, fail. I can't think of a single example, and I might be just biased here, but I can't think of a single example where a loot box system is the optimal way to deliver the game's content.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. It's not at all.
It's not at all.
Like, if it doesn't rely on that for content, then, like, if I squint
Here.
at it, then it's fine. But
Here, I actually
in
can
any
tell
other
you.
situation,
So I found the answer to the one game where the optimal way to introduce content is through a loot box, and that's just gacha games, which is where the game is opening the loot box. My apologies.
True.
My apologies for you gacha gamers out there. I figured it out.
Yeah, but they're
True.
they're
I'm
not
sorry
our
to our
audience.
Genshin Impact fans.
Anyways,
Also, go away.
yeah, get out of here. No, here's the thing. I can tell you the optimal way to introduce a loot box. A loot box that can only be got with in-game currency that you earn. Because in that case, this is just a fun, ooh, what can I get?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you have to play
never,
the game.
I'm
You
just going to
can't
spend
buy
more
it.
money to get what I want.
Yes, but it's just like, why, if you're using in-game currency, why even use a random? It's like that Family Guy funny moment where you can buy a boat or you can buy a mystery prize, which could be a boat. Why don't you just buy the boat?
Sometimes you don't want the boat.
Because sometimes the mystery prize
And
is
what do you
cheaper
buy in
than
the
the
mystery
boat, and
box?
you could get a boat.
Yeah, maybe the loot boxes are cheaper than.
Nick, maybe
the
the real boats were the loot boxes we found along the way.
Oh,
The real loot boxes were the boats we found along the way.
That one's better. I'll take that.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Shafted, I see.
Get fucked.
Yep.
Oh,
All right, so I think we're all in unanimous agreement about this topic.
No. We all completely
Yeah.
agree about
Microtransactions
about
are bad.
shitty-
Companies should stop doing them.
unless it's a free to play and it's non-predatory.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement, I think, here that loot boxes and microtransactions are bad. But here's where I want to talk. Here's where I want to get into the nitty gritty of it. Are they acceptable under some circumstances? Like back to Destiny, because the thing is, Destiny vaulting its content was healthy for the game. It was actually it was healthy for the game. As much as I hate their act of doing it, it was good. It was a good choice to keep the game at a reasonable size and not have it be Arc, where it's like 200 gigs.
or COD.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I am of the opinion that that is a good way to do things to manage the size of the game, but that the choice should have still been down to the player base, because ultimately we want to see content go that isn't the content we like.
I kind of think that was down to the player base, though, because everyone had been complaining about what they removed. So I do believe, even if they didn't put out an official poll or something, that is the player base talking.
Oh yeah, of course. And there'll always be people who like disagree with what was put away, which is just how opinions work in their entirety. But
now, what Destiny did do about this that I think was good, and I wish more games that did this sort of vaulting content did this, is that through exotic ciphers and stuff, which you can always get weekly, kind of thing. I mean, you
can get them from the season pass too.
You can get them from the season pass. Morally dubious at best, but
yeah, season passes are morally dubious at best, but at least they gave you a way to do it.
Yeah, but and with this stuff that you can actually acquire like the exotics, which were like, you know, the best guns, the unique weapons, right? Legendaries, I guess you would call them in other games. You could acquire the exotics of those seasons, and they even got to the point where there was some just legendaries, which are a step below exotics in Destiny, that were really, really prized and people really wanted them, that they actually also added the ability to get back. And I think that's good. I think that's a step in the right direction by vaulting the content that nobody liked, but still allowing access to the rewards for that content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a backpedal, but they did it at least in a decent enough way.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, yeah, we locked the content, but you can still get all this stuff. Now, what I will agree with is the vaulting of seasons every time a year comes around with a new DLC. I think that's perfectly fine because seasons are self-contained stories. You have the whole year to play them, and they're tiny. They're tiny stories. They're little snacks. They're little snack size stories.
Yeah, I
And it going away means it's into a new phase. The season pass is the bad part, but like
I don't know
in
because
general, I'm fine with that type of content vaulting because it also didn't cost me any money to play that season if I didn't buy the pass.
I mean,
but you
we
can't play the
all
season without the pass.
No, these times you can.
They
Like
changed
it
it.
used Yeah, they changed it.
Okay,
It
that's so
used to
much
be
better
that you
then.
had to buy the season pass to get stuff.
Oh, okay.
But in more recent it's been like, okay, no, you just get to play it.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
good. Because otherwise, Destiny wasn't a free-to-play game. Destiny was, hey, you can demo these modes in the game. You can't play the game.
Exactly.
I mean, okay,
I think
we
with
all
Witch Queen the last two seasons have been everything, all of it's free to do.
Nick,
we are
speak.
all Magic the Gathering players here.
Indeed
Oh
we
We
yeah.
are.
all have some amount of
Yes.
familiarity with the premise of a
Loot box.
votation. No, like a standard votation,
Oh yeah.
cards being legal versus not being legal depending on the time of year,
Yeah.
as new sets come out. And that system is generally it's pretty well proven to be a solid system for content, especially when it comes to competitive content.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and as I previously mentioned, I have very little experience with Destiny, but it is somewhat reasonable to attempt some form of standard votation for the new content.
And you're absolutely correct because Magic is a competitive game and keeping it fresh like that is fine. The thing that likens it most to Destiny is if Wizards of the Coast came into your house, ripped up your cards, and then burned them and left
that I'm not.
because they left the standard rotation.
Yes, because Wizard for Magic the Gathering has formats that are not affected by said rotation. Thusly, you can
Exactly.
always play with those cards
Yeah.
somewhere somehow.
And of course, house rules. You can
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
most
just
people play
not
with you
doing
can play with
the
anything
official
that's
stuff.
not a proxy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
other than exotics, Destiny kind of does that too, Nick. It does a rotation where weapons, every like will eventually hit a power cap once they're old enough. So they just in any sort of PvP that's you're trying to do stuff, which is Trials of Osiris, where the actual good rewards are. It does count your overall light level, which is your overall gear level. So you can't come in there with a really good gun that you got from a year ago because it's just not. It just can't match even a shitty gun because it just won't output the damage. Like you'll have less damage, you'll have less shields, you'll have less everything because your overall light level is lower.
Now, that doesn't affect casual play, which is why it's mostly fine.
Yeah,
But of course, that
I
does
actually think it's a
affect
good
and
thing because it keeps
oh yeah, it's a
it
good
keeps the
thing
meta
because of the
fresh.
same reason that that
I
the
honestly think it
standard.
should affect casual play for any. Like I think Destiny should have a casual mode and then a ranked mode, and the ranked mode all of
Totally
this
agree.
applies, and then the casual you can do whatever you want. Because the problem with the metas in Destiny right now is that when something is a little bit broken or like a weapon class, they have to change the whole class because one gun is a little bit too good or three guns are a little bit too good instead of just being like, yeah, that's the meta this season, it'll change next season, it's fine.
Yeah. Instead of like accounting for it, they just kind of there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's good
Yeah.
for that first topic.
I think that generally decides it. I'm gonna go into a less high stakes conversation, but still a little fun. I might be getting my brand new car like next week.
Hell yeah.
Except it'll be here, but I won't get it because since my dad co-signed for insurance purposes, um, to lower the insurance cost of it, he also has to sign the contract when we receive it, and they're going to Mexico next week, which is when the shipment that might have my car on it is coming in.
Yeah, just forge it. You didn't hear
No,
that.
I've got great news for you. Just because it's in the country doesn't mean you're getting it anytime soon.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's
Well,
true.
the shipment is going directly to the dealership that day. So like I hope my car is on there, but then I still have to wait 2 fucking weeks to get my damn car. But hey, at least my parents are gone to Mexico, so I can do whatever I want with the house. I don't know.
Perfect.
Speaking of
You've got
cars,
a nice car sitting right in your driveway that you cannot use, but you do have a house
no.
that is empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect balance.
Put the
No,
car
speaking of
in the
cars,
house. It's
put the
empty.
car in the house. Speaking of cars, though, Logan's been learning to drive. So, Logan,
Oh,
Yeah,
Logan, you
first
didn't
time
know how to
driver.
drive?
What's Well, he's been
Well,
learning. How's it been going?
yeah. It's been going once. I've been behind the. It's been going good.
Been
I've
going
been.
once.
Going
Yes.
once. Woof.
Shut up. My brain's all over the place right now. I've been behind the wheel once, and it's nerve-wracking the first time. I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest, it is.
The
That's
first
true.
one,
is.
yeah.
Oof.
Oh, it's
Especially
still.
driving in this city with our shit fucking drivers.
Oh, we have the worst
Yeah.
drivers per capita in Canada.
God
I
damn.
don't doubt it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I always
But it's
tell
it's
people
good to
now,
learn with some adversity. That way it'll prepare you for the real world.
I don't think you can get any more of the real world than driving in front of shitty drivers.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Although I will say, I have every time I tell people that like are coming to be like learning how to drive a car, like Cora's gonna attempt to learn how to drive mine. Don't ask me why I made that decision.
The new one?
Yeah, the new one.
Huh,
Just
that is an
trust me,
interesting
bro.
choice that you made, but
Yeah,
okay.
no sources, bro. Trust me. I don't learn to drive it in the city for the love of God. Just don't do it. It's not
Yeah,
worth it.
you should take your first lessons like in a parking
In a
in a
in an
parking.
empty parking lot, like a high school parking lot in the middle of summer night. Get it done
Yeah.
there, and then
That's
like
Yeah.
just go out to like Arva or Ilderton.
You guys are all
And
cowards. You
just
should take
do
your
it there.
first like driving lessons in the park we have downtown, just like in the actual.
I
park.
really thought you were gonna
In the park?
suggest on the highway, which is illegal.
Yeah. Not only
No,
straight up
in
illegal,
the
but also
park.
very dangerous.
In the park.
In
Then
Victoria Park.
yeah,
I mean
yeah,
that's
because
still illegal, but
no, because it gives you a really good idea of how fast people move depending on their age, so you can like use that information later on.
I can't
Because
dispute
because
that. It's
if you hit
technically
more people,
true.
because if you hit more people, you get multipliers. And like if
Yeah.
you go during Sunfest or Ribfest, or like when the Christmas lights are up, boom, that's like 1,000,000 points easy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anyway, that's my low stress bit about getting a car and
Man,
my trials and tribulations. Oh yeah, if you did you know, used cars are almost more expensive than new cars are right now, with none of the warranties or guarantees. And
what?
uh, on the
Yeah.
other end
The market's stupid.
on the other end of this, new cars, they have too many orders, and for a lot of them, at least when I was buying mine a few months ago, they have ceased production or have started just producing like static amounts. So there's no guarantee on when your car is coming in, and it's definitely
What?
not on the lot
Yeah.
already.
Oh yeah,
Anymore.
I kind of did know that because a friend of mine from work, I'm not gonna name names. They bought a car like 6 months ago, and it
And
still
they're
hasn't
still
shown
waiting.
up.
Yeah. And you want to know the dumbest part? There's no point in getting a refund and then starting the process over again.
Yeah,
It's gonna take
It's-
longer if you do that.
It's going to take even longer.
God, that's such a bad system right now. Oh
It-
my god.
The system was totally fucked. There was like no used cars on lots anywhere a few months ago. Like you could not find one that wasn't like stupid expensive or like a Mustang or one that didn't work properly. Like it was $2,000, but
Yeah,
there
you
was
already
wasn't an
said a
engine.
Mustang.
True. Nick knows what's up. But yeah, the used car market is retarded right now because I think they're starting to go down now. But like 6 months ago, you would be hard pressed to find a decent used car that wasn't the same price as a new one.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that.
And that's on a 5-year-old car.
Oh my god.
Like that thing could be falling apart the second you drive it off the lot, and you're just up shit creek because there's no warranty on that.
Oh my god.
Like, I was going after used cars until, like, my parents and I, we had to sit down, we're like, this is just not gonna work. And my dad posited that he was like, yeah, so you're just gonna have a car, and if it breaks, you're down the amount of money you spent on it and the car. It's like getting content vaulted. It's almost exactly like getting content vaulted.
Fuels. That's comedy. This is what I call explaining the joke, which is also comedy.
It's only comedy when it's done by you, Nick.
Dude, listen. I mean, it's real simple. The joke's funniest when you explain it. Everybody knows that.
No, I just like listening to Nick's buttery smooth voice. And his also
Fair.
the echo of his room when he talks through his laptop mic.
No, man, he's got to soundproof it.
We
yet.
did not exactly prep this and with enough time for me to go out and buy a mic.
It's fine. It's fine. It'll
No,
add character.
This whole situation for us did kind of just snowball immediately with like an unstoppable force of hype.
Yeah. Yeah.
We planned this about a week ago after our first recorded podcast. I'll dip into this bit for a little.
Oh god.
But our first
What a
recorded
disaster.
podcast was essentially a podcast we would release if we already had an extreme following and people were there to catch up with the boys, as one of us put it.
Extreme is the
think it
right
was
word.
Jordan.
Not a following, an extreme following.
Yeah, no, you'd have to be invested in us personally to find that in any way entertaining. Well, you'd probably find it funny or entertaining, but you wouldn't know what's going on.
No,
There would be no context. We didn't introduce anybody. We just kind of went for it.
Yeah.
But I can happily say I'm a greedy son of a bitch, and you can expect that video behind a paywall on some sort of Patreon or the equivalent.
Oh my
I
god.
shout out the Patreon, but we don't have it yet. So
Yeah, oh yeah, it definitely doesn't exist yet, but like,
oh yeah, 100.
again, once we have enough of a following, that'll be up there. That'll be the first, along with that post show that comes
Yeah.
out on that behind that paywall.
Once there's enough people to be like, man, your content's good. Can I support you in some way? Then it'll be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
which will never happen, by the way.
Oh no, that's
We're getting
like-
that out there right now. We're not funny. We've never been funny. Nick is the only reason people are tuning in, because that voice and that echo.
oh yeah, exactly. Nick is the only quality among us. The rest of us are just quantity.
yeah, on that topic, actually, I'd like to swap to the next topic, which is, of course, the arrogance of 20-something men. Especially the arrogance of starting your own podcast.
Nick, this is somewhat backlashing at you too, because you do enjoy podcasts.
I enjoy listening to some podcasts, yes.
Yeah.
You're more the podcast person than any of us are.
I listen to
just kinda-
podcasts.
True. Well,
But I
I
listen
don't
to
know
podcasts
Kale's
as well.
podcasting well enough to know if
I
beat
listen
him out
to
on
two
podcasting.
podcasts religiously, and that's it.
Okay, I listen to 2 podcasts. I would not describe it as religiously, and a third podcast that I haven't listened to for a while that I keep telling myself I should go back to listening to, and another podcast that like hasn't uploaded in a while, so that's why I haven't listened to them.
Sad boy hours.
I call that a tie.
Call
Sure.
that a tie.
4 not as much versus 2 all the time.
Nick, let's ask. Would you say, on average, you listen to 2 podcasts a week?
On average, yes, especially recently.
Okay, because that's
The
what I
one
do
of the
more or
two
less.
podcasts, one of the 2 podcasts has variable like the topics, and so some topics are more interesting to me than others, and so sometimes I won't listen to an episode that doesn't pique my interest as much. The other one I just will listen to no matter what.
Yeah. Back to the whole point, the arrogance. Nick, Nick, you undermine our arrogance because we are not just starting a podcast.
No,
We're starting a.
we're
This
not
is
just
starting a
starting
company.
You are correct.
This is far more
Eventually.
arrogant.
Eventually.
We are being.
Brennan, you keep
several
saying
times
that
more
word,
arrogant.
and I don't think you know what it means.
I know what it means. I'm pushing the ball. I'm starting the psychology. The more everyone thinks that's what we're doing, the better it'll be because we'll get there faster. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It won't happen, but if I keep saying it, it'll happen, right, guys?
Oh,
Right, guys?
that's
Yeah, sure.
what we in the business call manifesting, with like stall emojis around it.
Projection.
I thought that was
I'm
just
projecting.
like, yeah, I thought that was some form of Brennan Stockholm syndroming the audience, but
Well, that's also true. You know, manifesting is a multi-step process.
yeah, it is a multi-step. We
Guys,
first got it.
You've never heard of the 3 Gs: gatekeep, gaslight, girl boss.
I thought you were gonna say games, gaming, game-os.
Failed.
Nick, why have you
That is a
saved
better
the
one.
best wine for last?
Because you gotta end in a bang.
Oh no,
Da-da,
we've
da-da.
still got some ways to go. I'd say we should
Oh,
still
yeah, we-
try
we
and shoot for at least another
Oh,
30
so that
minutes.
was not me trying to end the episode.
No.
It's not that.
No. That was definitely not an ending. That was Nick finishing the joke with a bang.
All right, good. I was half expecting him to just be like, "All right, yeah, I'm done here.
Yeah,
Bye,
done.
guys." Just leave.
No, that'll be a bit for a different episode, not episode 1.
All right, perfect. He's
Yes,
like,
okay,
it'll be a bit for episode 2, and I'm not coming back.
I do want to phase back into that point. What were the grounds for the point? Is it just like, well, we all know that there's, after you finish puberty, guys choose one of 4 classes, and it's fishing, cars, podcast, or depression.
Why not
I mean,
all
yes.
3?
This is a well documented.
4. Shit.
And I actually don't think that's quite accurate because I think the depression one is pretty prevalent. I don't think that's technically one of the classes. I think that pops up too often to be considered its own class.
Why be depressed?
Gaming, then.
Just
Gaming, of course.
Just don't be sad because sad's bad.
Yeah, don't be
Wow.
sad. Sad bad. This is official psychology advice, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, coming straight from
So,
the
yeah.
words of Dr. Nick.
Doctor, yes.
It is.
I do have a degree in psychology. This is not a joke.
He
so.
did. Yeah, he did graduate.
Oh, true.
That's
Congratulations,
a thing that
Nick.
happened last year, right?
Yep.
Look,
Well,
Yeah.
I graduated last year. I had my graduation ceremony this year because of
Oh,
COVID.
because it's all fucked. Yeah, whatever.
Because
did,
of the plague.
I did computer programming. I didn't graduate. I dropped out. That's all I have to say on that.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm
Nick and the
right there with
Dropouts.
you, Caleb.
Nick and the
I dropped
Dropouts is
out
our
as well.
band name.
Nick and the Dropouts.
I went to college for
Speaking
freaking TV
speaking of-
broadcasting. God damn.
speaking of the name bit, Nick and the Dropouts might just be better.
That's
Except
a
we-
really
it's
good
a-
name.
That's a really good name, but we can't guarantee that Nick or the 3 Dropouts will be.
But
will
that's
be
fine.
in
If
the
Nick's
cast
not
at any
there,
given
we
time.
just call it the Dropouts,
Dropouts.
right? It's Nick and the Dropouts or the Dropouts.
So, the other suggestions that we've had for a name of this motherfucker is where is it? I gotta go back a little bit, but I had people try to tell me shit,
Raid
and
Shadow Legends, that was one of them.
Raid
Oh,
Shadow Legends
God.
was
Do
what
you
was a
that?
bit,
Because
would
that
be
is
funny.
pretty funny.
It would be really funny,
It
and
would be
that's
very funny, and we would get copyright,
oh
struck
we would get
immediately.
smited into the dirt.
It would be a very good gauge, Nick, to tell when we're popular enough that like a big companies.
If we get struck.
yeah, like it's like, wow, God noticed me.
Notice me, senpai. So we got the Federal Bureau of Instigation, which was honestly the weakest one that he said, but it's still pretty funny.
good.
The Central Unintelligence Agency is better.
That is good.
I find that to be better anyway. Uh,
Yeah.
Jordan gave us any of the D&D alignments, like chaotic neutral, and I was like, true neutral's not bad, but I would want to save that for D&D themed content
True.
Yeah.
because it's a
Yeah.
D&D term. It would give the wrong impression. Um,
Chaotic
what?
lawful should be the D&D
Say that like
stuff.
we're not absolutely going to be talking about D&D later in this episode.
Nick definitely brought D&D to the table, but
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
chaotic lawful is something that somebody said because it's my favorite one. I have a strict moral code, but nobody understands what it is. And that's just chaotic lawful.
That's including the user, okay?
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
That's like, wow, they're such a kind sadist. That's so stupid.
So that's most of the funny names that I came up with, apart from the actual name, which we're going for the Royal Court.
Oh yeah.
Which
But
does
no,
go
I
better
think
with the branding.
I do, but I like Nick and the Dropouts better. I honestly think
Nick and the
that's
Dropouts is very funny. Maybe we can do that as I want to make that into something now, because what if we made that an actual show where it's just the four of us
that's just
hanging
a
out?
better podcast name. We'll argue about it afterwards, Brennan, but
All right.
I'm voting for Nick and the Dropouts.
Honestly, it's just for branding that I'm saying Royal Court.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that like it's on brand, it fits.
We
like,
could
you can
could
understand
just
where it all
title the
comes
first
from.
episode Nick and the Dropouts.
Nick and the Dropouts. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Royal Court episode 1, Nick and the Dropouts.
Yeah.
In the same vein as the Royal Court, we could go a little more. We could do variations of it, like the King's Council, some other ones.
Oh yeah, King's Court, King's Council, War Table. War Table's pretty funny, but we can do that for like a.
Well, if you want, we can get copyright struck by calling it the War Room and rip off that podcast.
The War
Well, it's not a
Room.
podcast per se, but
Yeah, definitely just rip off things. We're only here
Oh, yeah.
to steal other people's ideas.
Isn't that everybody?
Oh, that's
yeah,
it.
there's no
I mean,
such thing as an original idea.
Yeah, I was
I'm
just
not
gonna
sure.
say too, Nick.
I'm not sure, Nick. You know Thomas. We
You
all
know
know
what?
Thomas.
You know what?
You know what? That's fair.
I've got a counter for you. One
Yeah?
time I was playing a game with my coworkers at the workplace that Caleb and I will formerly share, but still currently do, since I'm
Yeah.
leaving.
And we're not gonna
we played
say its name.
No, we are not saying
No
its
free
name,
advertising.
but, I was talking to a couple coworkers in this game about, okay, make a superhero like ability that can't be monetized.
Okay.
It's pretty well impossible because a lot of things can be monetized.
You
Almost
can
everything
monetize
is.
anything.
Exactly.
Really? Because you could just make their superpower demonetization.
You can monetize that.
You can monetize. YouTube's done it. Oops.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh God, Brennan already striking at our overlords.
Yeah. Dude, I'm all about striking up against the glass ceiling.
Yes, the glass ceiling that we experience, we as cis white male podcasters experience.
Yeah, with varying degrees of beards.
Yeah, yeah. From none to mine.
Yeah.
It goes Nick, Logan, Caleb, me.
Oh, I don't have a beard anymore. I
You
shaved it
don't?
off.
Oh, Nick and Caleb are tied, but you
No,
might
I have a mustache
Oh, no.
now.
You have oh no, so you're still above
Yeah.
Nick and probably Logan. Oh, Logan, do you have a what's your beard status like? This is a topic I didn't think we'd hit, but you know what?
This is a
We're
better
kind of here now.
topic.
This is a better topic.
I haven't shaved in a while.
All right. Oh no, so it might go on Nick, Caleb, Logan, me. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
probably
good.
does.
That's a pretty good beard circle. What was I gonna say?
You were striking at YouTube.
No, there was something. There was an addition to that, but I completely forgot, so it doesn't actually matter
That's fine.
because I'm stupid.
Nick, Logan, you guys gotta laugh at our jokes sometimes. Like, if you guys don't think we're funny, nobody's gonna think we're funny. We just gotta hype this up a little.
Can't be the only one laughing.
See,
at my jokes.
too
Look
many
like an asshole.
podcasts have so much overlapping dialogue. I'm just trying to make sure that everyone can
It's
hear
heard,
things.
not right.
That's completely fair.
That is
That way we
actually
don't
really
do what
good.
our group normally does
Okay.
and just scream over top of
Yes.
each other.
So I was getting more and more. Oh, sorry, Nick. We just did it. Go ahead.
If listeners, if you are to listen to our the times when we hang out on Discord, you will not hear all of us, even if all of us are speaking.
Yeah. Sorry,
It
Nick.
is better to take some defensive steps to ensure that this is more listenable,
All right, perfect.
even if it hurts the feelings of some of our co-hosts.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. 100%.
Wow.
Because
No, sorry, go ahead, Brennan. This is terrible.
because
now that Nick's brought it up.
yeah,
The moment Nick brought it up, it's all fucked.
Murphy's
Oh.
Law.
Oh.
Murphy just shot his law all over this goddamn podcast.
Oh yeah.
The first podcast we recorded was full of that because, like I said, it was just us hanging out, and it was practically 5 conversations at once sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I say, unless we have a following, that's not coming out.
Oh yeah, Nick. It didn't hurt my feelings, but I was like, wow, this is not gonna get published. I was like, wow, this is already really bad and really
Straight up
rough.
nod content.
All right. What even brought us there? It's fine. Who has a topic? Logan or Brennan?
Nick.
Always have a topic in my back pocket, but I don't know how
Yeah, Nick-
happy any of you are going to be to listen to it.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
no,
let's
we are
hear
not
about
talking
Riverdale.
about fucking Riverdale. No.
I have.
Somebody
You
mentioned
may or may
D&D
not have heard
earlier.
of this television show by the name of
Oh
Riverdale.
god, this is gonna be the whole rest of the podcast, isn't it?
It doesn't have to be. I'm not going to start talking about it. I'm just going to introduce that I can be talking about it. Because for the audience, I will just briefly describe it. Riverdale is this television. If you haven't heard of it, I'm sorry that I'm about to introduce you to it. It is a television show. It shows up on the CW network and on Netflix. It is about the Archie Comics characters, except it's them but edgy. So it's
them but
murder,
CW.
mystery, and madness, quite frankly. And it is, I do not exaggerate
And
in the
abs.
slightest here, the most insanely and poorly written show I think that has ever been written. And I've seen every episode because you can't
Nick.
look away from Trainwreck.
We've watched Devilman.
like-
That's worse.
It's like watching a monkey swallow a hand grenade.
Philip, I will say this: Devilman, we did not like Devilman, but Devilman, its biggest problem was missed potential. A lot of things about Devilman felt like they would have been really good if tweaked, and then they just won't. That is not what Riverdale is like.
But Riverdale's hilariously bad.
Oh yes. Oh, very much
God,
so.
it gives headaches. This
I
is
can go
on par
on.
with Sword Art Online for me.
4 hours. I will not do that yet, unless you want me to, because at some point I will go all in, but that will not be either way.
Some-
Nick is actively holding himself back.
Nick has
You
the
have
blade
no-
sheathed.
No, he's in a straight jacket right now. He's like, no.
You guys don't understand what is going on in this show. The apocalypse is on the doorstep. The main villain's a wizard from another dimension. This show is about teenagers solving murders at home, and now they're all superpowered adults, and the main villain just sent a comet at the planet. You don't understand. I could go on forever about this show. Also about that time when the main villain was actually a good guy, but they're also the main villain. They did the main villain things, but their motivation was the literal exact same as the protagonists, but they all killed people, but got away scot-free because they all had the same intentions as the main characters. I could go for so long. I haven't even touched anything yet. Do you want me to go? Do you want me to go off? 'Cause I can go off.
Speaking of shows, there is a show that's currently on Disney Plus.
Oh, boy.
It's a murder mystery show called Only Murders in the Building. it's about these people making a podcast, except only one of them is a 20-something, and it's Selena Gomez
Yes.
and
To be clear,
Martin
season
Short and
2 is airing now. Season
yeah,
1
season 2
aired
is in
like
the middle of
last
airing,
year or 2 years ago. I don't
and
remember.
it's honestly a very good. I believe it to be a very good murder mystery.
I
Show.
would agree with you. I watched season 1. I liked it a lot. I'm not caught up on season 2. I'm like an episode, 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes behind, but
Yeah, one episode just came out yesterday, but
then I'm probably like 3 episodes behind.
Cora and I have been hooked on that show. We found it the other day, and we were like, "Yeah, whatever. We got nothing else to watch." And
It's
then
very good, actually.
it's extremely good. Death Note has a reputation in this group, and hopefully among other people, that it's way too over the top. It's like, look how smart I am that I did this twist and that it worked. This is very much the opposite of that. It's
Like, categorically, the cast is full of idiots, but like,
yeah,
like not even idiots. They're incompetent, but they're also competent. They're good. I don't even know how to say. Like, to be like, this cast of characters is Selena Gomez, this 20-something, who has a dark secret, and then these two old like has-beens
one
who
of
have
them was a
nothing else going
detective
on
on a
in their
show,
lives, who are
and one of them
desperate
was like
to.
a producer.
Yeah, one of them was like played a famous cop in an old TV show, and the other one did a whole bunch of Broadway musicals, and they were like really like well known for being over the top with their production, which would lead to ruin sometimes. Uh, and they're both sort of retired, but like partially not by choice. They both have like nothing going on in their lives, and then
Yeah,
this model happens in their apartment
in
building, and
their apartment building.
they all end up meeting each other accidentally by realizing that they're all into the same
True crime
true crime
podcast.
podcast. And they learn about it when they get evacuated from their apartment because there was an actual model in it. And so they decide to begin investigating it as their own homegrown true crime podcast. Uh, and it's pretty good.
It's
Positive reviews for me.
no, there's a lot of funny antics. If honestly, it's not worth the Disney Plus membership on its own. I don't think anything on Disney Plus in a vacuum is worth it. I don't think there's one thing that can sell me on buying a subscription, but we already had one, and this happened to be a very, very good show. If you have a subscription already and you haven't seen it, I would absolutely recommend.
100%.
I'll look into it.
I don't have Disney
That's
Plus.
yeah. That's just all the show. That's just all the
There's
show
always
stuff that
a
I
way
got.
to watch a show, Caleb. There's
Also,
always
yeah,
don't worry.
there's always
Don't
a way.
worry, I have a VPN, which I hope someday we get sponsored by.
You could definitely get. I mean, Nick, just give him your Disney Plus.
I could do that. That's not what I was referring to, but I suppose that is possible.
Oh no, I know, but it's like. Speaking of vaulted content and such, Netflix's practice of denying people shared passwords.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah,
They're
yeah.
done.
Yeah, like Netflix makes good business decisions actually, and we should respect them for sabotaging their consumer base.
I love
These are
that
good
Netflix
things.
Elves.
is actually a modern day example of like a big company dying. Like we're actually getting to witness it. I don't think it will die, per se.
But it is-
because
but
it's
it is
too
going
successful.
It sure does want to fail.
But-
It sure is like, you know what? What if we made our service as bad as possible and like rejected people? Like
it wouldn't
it
surprise
is-
me if it eventually gets like bought out by some other thing and then just fades away.
It is
Yeah.
particularly funny because Netflix exists as a thing that killed another industry, and now it's
Yeah.
like the peak thing
And-
that is dying to its own industry.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
industry it created is what it's dying to.
Oh yeah. It's so good. That is what we call irony.
That is utmost irony.
That is chef kiss good. I love that. Yeah, Netflix is a piece of shit. Like, I mean, it makes sense because it was the first of its kind that was kind
Yeah,
of
it was
big
the first
and
of its
did
kind,
good
so
stuff. But it's it hasn't adapted at all. It has not
No.
adapted.
It's literally regressed.
Yeah.
They were literally like, hey, let's do Netflix as a way to, like, get away from advertising to, like...
Yeah, and they went back
easier.
to ads.
And then they're like,
They were
you know
like,
what?
we
What
should
if we
make a
made an
lower
advertised
subscription
version of
price.
this service?
What? Can you guys say that one at a time, Brennan?
Yeah, we said the same point. They just went back and went to an advertised version of the thing
My
that they...
understanding of it is that you can choose to pay for a version of Netflix with ads, which will be cheaper than the version without ads. Which, part of the whole selling point of Netflix is there are no ads, meaning that you no longer have the thing you wanted Netflix for.
Yeah, you no longer have the
That's
subscription
so
service that you're
stupid.
paying for. It's really dumb. It really is dumb
Oh my
that
God,
that's
it's so
what they're
bad.
doing with it.
Yeah, it is optional for now, but it's still such a weird... I mean, it's not weird for them, they want to make more money, but it is weird to me to be like, yeah, let's just abandon... Not fully, but let's begin to abandon the premise that we
Reason?
started with.
The entire idea behind our product, we're just gonna fucking throw it out the window.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Like, I think I've heard that other streaming services have started with that, but
Yeah,
that's
they have.
fine.
For example, the Amazon one has ads.
I think that's fine
some
because
will
they didn't
stop.
pioneer it. They didn't pioneer the thing only to go back on the whole decision
Also,
that they made
it is
on.
Amazon. Amazon making a business decision that hurts its consumers is just Tuesday. So, like...
Yeah, it's not
Dude.
a Tuesday if Amazon hasn't hurt its consumer base.
Amazon's gonna rule the world at some point. Like,
They're
it's
already
actually
on the
insane.
way. They bought a giant I don't actually remember how big they were, but they bought a medical company
I
already.
thought you were gonna say a
Really?
portion of the metaverse, and I was gonna
Damn.
laugh my ass off.
That
Facebook.
will happen as soon as there's a portion of the metaverse that they can buy.
God,
Yeah, and I mean it will happen
yeah.
because Facebook is
It might not. Zuckerberg really doesn't like his workers very much, which, I mean, it also
True.
is very surprising.
He does
But I
like
mean,
some
Amazon
water,
is... Who doesn't like a little bit of water though?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I
Love
read an
those
article
images.
earlier today about Zuckerberg being like, hey guys, so, like, we need to, like, get more work done on this metaverse stuff, so, like, some of you don't belong here, so I'm going to turn up the heat. Hopefully that means it'll be clear to you that you should leave. And everyone is like,
Jesus.
what?
What?
I'm sorry,
That's fucking
what?
brutal.
Jesus.
He
Yeah.
God, that's malicious business practice.
Oh yeah.
And then
Zuckerberg has.
apparently that Meta employees will generally able to pick their own, like, projects, and then they're not actually allowed to do that anymore. You've got to pick either Reels, which is making Facebook and Instagram into TikTok, or you've got to pick, or you've got to go into, like, AI and, like, metaverse stuff, and those are the only avenues
Metaverse specific
employed at
stuff.
Meta to do anything with.
Yeah, like Zuckerberg has become such a meme.
Before you say has become, he probably
Sorry,
always
He
has.
has been.
No, okay,
No, he has been a meme.
Let me put it this way. Sorry, Zuckerberg has always been such a reptile, but it's become so prevalent recently that even my dad, like a couple months ago, like started finding the Zuckerberg, like, if I was human, I am human, and like shit like that memes. And my dad was like, "Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about now." I was like laughing his ass off at it, and I was, yeah. Zuckerberg is either
He's
extremely
lizard
high
human.
functioning autism, or he's not human.
The only other alternative, which is not the one I want to be true, is that whoever does all of his cinematography for all of his on-camera appearances makes his sets look as much like he is an alien as possible.
That would be amazing.
Unhinged
like the
examples of
barbecue
these,
sauce?
like, insane...
Barbecue
Yeah,
sauce.
exactly. That is the prime example, obviously.
So since this isn't gonna have visuals, for any of you who don't know what we're talking about, look up Mark Zuckerberg barbecue sauce. It's incredible. There's like a shelf in the background of it.
It's a shelf, and
house.
all it's got
And
is it's just got a bottle of barbecue sauce.
No,
That's
there's
it.
actual legitimate items, and then there's like a bottle of barbecue sauce, and it makes no sense. It's not like, oh, someone accidentally left it there or whatever. No, it's like pristine, like it's an object. It's so good. Oh my god,
what a
that
fucking
man.
what a fucking lizard human.
Oh,
Caleb,
I don't know if he's embraced it at this point.
How long have we been going for? He has to, by the way.
We've been going for a bit over an hour, but we are gonna have to cut out that bit earlier. So I'd like to go for like another 10-ish minutes. Does anyone have a quick topic? You guys want to close it out with a quick topic?
Yeah, I wanted to close it out because Cora wanted to call me on her break for whatever reason. I think she's got something else, but like I'm not gonna tank the podcast for that, or rather,
No,
I would.
Brennan, not gonna tank. So Brennan coded is not gonna tank the podcast to his girlfriend. Good to know. Good to know.
Wow, Brennan.
Everyone stole that.
Yeah,
make a comment. We'll call that in the comments. Let us know the next time
yeah.
Brennan takes the podcast to his girlfriend.
Yeah,
like,
no, let us
about
know
5
how
minutes.
Brennan is such a bad boyfriend for not tanking the podcast for his girlfriend.
Yeah, fucking call me out as not being a simp though, because 100% I am. That's just a bold-faced lie.
All right.
I don't think there's more of a simp than me. That's our quick topic.
That's our quick topic. All right. Well, this has been.
I didn't mean for that to end it, but I meant for like
that's ending
some
it.
people to bounce off that. But like,
no,
yeah, no,
that's ending it. All right. So this has been great.
You can try. You'll never find a bigger simp.
Just trust us. Brennan's a simp. If you don't believe us, watch for more content. It should become apparent in the future.
Oh yeah, it's already starting to
become apparent in the future.
But anyways, it's been great. I'll do the sign off, I guess, because I'm starting
I mean,
let's go through our names once more. With me, I've got my good friend Brennan, my good friend Logan,
What's up?
my good friend Nick.
Peace to the people.
Okay, you kind of cut out. Can you say that one more time?
I said peace unto the people, Caleb. Let
All right,
there
good.
be.
And then there's me. There's me, Caleb, the editor of this shit. So if it's bad, blame me. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, have a good one, bitches.
Bye.
Bye.